Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. This one is an actual request. This one came from MikkDC, and for this one we are on the Great Western Mainline, or at least we're on it for a bit. So we are starting at Paddington and our destination is Oxford. The only stop on the way that he stipulated was Reading. They all stop at Reading, so that's no big surprise. There really isn't a huge number of stops that I think, yeah, they would stop there, you know, when I see it on the list. So the only other one we'll do is we'll stop at Slough, assuming it will let us, and yeah, that'll be it. So yeah, Reading, Slough, Oxford, they will be the only stops of the run. The other things that he wanted, the specifics, so he wanted it spring, he wanted clear weather, so it's probably like seriously cold, and in the afternoon, so 1 PM. And then for the train, he wanted a class 802. I've specifically gone for the 802/1 because, yeah, it gives us a 9-car consist. 10-car I think is a bit much, 5-car I think is too short, so that's why it's not the 802/0. It is, yeah, the later revised one. So, yeah, 9-car it is. Let's face it, I don't do enough of these longer ones. I'm usually doing trains that are 4 or 5-car at most, and you know, I should do more of the longer ones. So yeah, 9 it is. So that is the setup. Let's get this up and running. And here we are at London Paddington. Here is our GWR 802. And quite away from the buffers actually. I thought we would be closer to them than that. But yeah, the thing about this being the 802/1 is that, yeah, it's a 9-car, but it's not made up of 2 trains together, whereas a 10-car 802/0, yeah, it would have just been 2 of these 5-car ones stuck together. So yeah, this looks better. Right, let's get ourselves set up. That's what I'm waiting for.
TPWF and AWF operational.
Okay, lights are set. I think we are all good. Let's let the passengers on. The doors don't tend to stay open very long on this train. But this time, because I've done it right, yeah, they're staying open, yeah, much longer. Now, even though we are on lines which are electrified, we are running in diesel mode because the electrification certainly on this particular DLC, the electrified route goes to Heathrow Airport. So it turns off the Great Western Mainline fairly quickly. Let's get underway. Let's turn off DRA before we do that, and then yeah, let's get underway. Always forget DRA. So yeah, because the electrification is only lasting a relatively short distance, I'm just starting in diesel mode, and to be honest, I think the vast majority of 800 series that are on this route would do the same. They would just do the whole thing in diesel mode. So we're already into a 40. I wasn't expecting that to come along so quickly. So as is always the case when we're in diesel mode, our acceleration is nowhere near as good as it could be. Certainly nowhere near as good as it would be if we were in electric mode. But it's not dreadful. It is bad enough that I will not be using the speed set. I do like using the speed set in, you know, on trains that have it as an option. But diesel mode 800 series, there's so many limitations to it. There's so many things that make you think it's not really worth trying to set it up and use it. So in the end, you just don't bother. In electric mode, it's a different matter altogether. Electric mode is fantastic, but yeah, diesel mode, no. So, yeah, approaching the 50 zone. It is a shame that this is the only part of the Great Western Mainline that I have at the moment. But the key word, the key part of that particular statement is at the moment. I will soon have the, not quite the entire Great Western Mainline, but I will have the vast majority of it up to Cardiff. So that will make quite the difference. I will also have the complete branch line, which we will be using in this run, because Oxford is not on the Great Western Mainline. So we have to turn off the Great Western Mainline in order to start our approach to Oxford. And that branch line actually takes us as far as Bicester, where it then joins the Chiltern Line. So yeah, with that complete branch line and with the complete Great Western Mainline, we are soon entering a 100 zone, we would be able to do things like you know, Penzance or Plymouth to Birmingham without having to go into London. And there are plenty of things like cross-country runs that do precisely that. Or we could do, you know, coming from the other way, we could do like either Bicester or Oxford to Cardiff. Yeah, it opens up quite a few routes. So we have a 125 mph section coming up. Now in diesel mode, the max speed of this thing, or the max operational speed, is 110. So it'll be interesting to see how far over 110 we can actually get this thing. Just thought, no, we can't open the windows in this thing, can we? So. Always enjoy taking the 800 series out. You get a fantastic view from the front windscreen. Really sort of like, you know, big, open, clear view there. And of course the speed of the thing, especially if we're in electric mode, the speed and acceleration is fantastic. It's just such a great loco to drive. I can't help wondering if that is why MikkDC chose this particular loco, because I know he has the London to Peterborough route for Train Sim Classic, and therefore he has the Dovetail Games Class 801. And although it lacks a lot of features of the AP enhancement, it's still a great one to drive. So we're up to 96, so acceleration rate has really come down. We've been in the 125 zone for a while. So I certainly don't see us reaching 125 mph on this run. No idea what station this is that we're coming up to. Obviously on the avoiding line. I suspect it's one of those that doubles as an overground and underground station. So here comes Southall Station next. This is quite the express service we are driving here. Another extremely over-engineered bridge for what was there. I remember we have one of those bridges on the LTS line. I mean, it does go over water. I can't remember if it goes over the Lee River or if it's going over a canal, but it's one of them. And it just, yeah, it's quite a short stretch that it's going over. It's massively over-engineered. So, yeah, here is Southall Station. Comes to a very sudden ending, that station. So Hayes and Harlington coming up next. Not familiar with that one. I always thought Hayes and Yedding were the two that were combined. So we're up to 106. So we have made it into three figures. Also forgot to check how far this journey actually is when we were at Paddington. I think it's about 60 something, 63. We've only got 52 and a half left. that was Hayes and Harlington Station. So we're very much into the old Middlesex as it was. So West Drayton coming up next. So it's all still these rather small commuter stations. So we're up to 108. Now 109, so we're very near the top speed that we can do in diesel mode. Also see that the overhead electrification has gone, so we would certainly be having to use this now whether we wanted to or not. So here's West Drayton Station. Not much there. Eva Station is coming up in just over a mile. So we're at 110. So let's see how much over the 110 we can do in this thing. There's, yeah, here is Eva Station. Eva looks like a bit of a pit, to be honest. Anyway, Langley is coming up next. So we are able to go over 110 anyway. We're at 111. I'm sure I've already said it, but we are very clearly not going to be able to do anything like 125, but we're still going at a pretty good rate here. This is one of those lines that it rather mystifies me as to why it's not electrified, and I'm sure in real life it is. I'm sure the electrification goes all the way to Cardiff. So, yeah, Langley Station. So we're at 112, and we have Slough coming up. So, yeah, I thought Reading came before Slough. No, of course it doesn't. So I started braking far too early. It's hangover from the Class 86 run that I did in the previous video. So it looks very unlikely that we will be able to get the whole train on this platform. Yeah, we're nowhere near going to be able to do it. So I let the front of the train go by a little bit. In fact, I think I've overdone it. So it's 7 cars that have made it. Okay, in fact, it looks like all the doors are going to open. Yeah, they have, but yeah, you wouldn't want to be trying to get off here. So anyway, this is Slough, quite an infamous place, and unlike some that I've shown in various videos, this is a place that absolutely deserves its reputation for being an infamous shithole. I mean, you wouldn't have thought a place like this, it's right next to, you know, Windsor and Eton, some very like snobby places, very upmarket, and they are quite nice towns, I must admit. And then you got this right on their doorstep, and it's an absolute shithole. So on a day like this, I think we can quite safely sink it straight into 100% throttle. I don't think we're going to get the chance to get it up to, in fact, I don't think we'll even get it up to 3 figures, let alone up to the 110 max again, because Reading is not that far along from here. So we are in fact going to have quite a long old stretch with no stops, because Reading is the final sort of stop that we are planning to make. So I might add another one in if I see a station come along that's, you know, a major enough town to warrant stopping. Needless to say that if it is the likes of Maidenhead and that, no, we won't stop there. I think by now my opinion of Maidenhead is well and truly established. So yeah, not stopping there. It is quite a slow acceleration on this thing. In stark contrast to if it's using electrical power. I think the vast majority of runs that I've done in the 800 series have actually been using diesel power. It's not really had the chance to show what it can do with the electrical power available to it. I'm not sure what station that is we've gone by. Taplow is coming up next. Will we get a trackside view? No, I mean this is a slightly different angle. Well, okay, we got trackside view, but it's at one where it is somewhat obscured, so we couldn't see it particularly well. So yeah, here we are at Taplow station, or going through Taplow anyway. So Maidenhead is coming up next, but yeah, we are very much on the avoiding line there. I'm not remotely sorry about that. I don't know if any of these rivers are the Thames. It could be one of the tributaries that joins it, you know, like the Isis or something. Anyway, yeah, Maidenhead. Here we are. Hateful place. I mean, it's not the worst. The worst is right next door to it, which is Henley. Henley-on-Thames, possibly the snobbiest place in England. So we are over 100. Not so much because we're accelerating faster than I thought we would, it's because Reading was actually further away than I thought it was. I think, yeah, we have got the view from within the cab. Unfortunately, this is it. This is the only passenger view we have, but nevertheless, we can see things from the passenger's point of view, which is more than we are able to do in a lot of trains in this game. So very much in open country. At least this means we'll be able to see when we are approaching Reading, because yeah, we see the outskirts of the town. Don't have the faintest idea why that alert was there. We've got no speed restrictions. We're on a gun barrel straight piece of track. I mean, we are going uphill on a 1 in 1,320 gradient. It's not really going to trouble us too much. So yeah, I have no clue at all why that AWS alert was there. So Twyford station is fast approaching. See what building there is. No idea. We're very much on the outskirts of a fair-sized town. Could be that, maybe not. I was going to say it could be that Twyford is bigger than I thought, but no. Whatever that town was, it certainly wasn't Twyford. So here is yeah, Twyford station. No idea where that branch is going. Well, we are up to 111, so we have gone over the max speed again or max operational speed for this thing in diesel mode. Now, as we approach Reading, and it starts to move us around onto the branch that takes us up to Oxford, it is a bit of a pain in the arse around there because there's a lot of speed reductions that don't appear in the route display. I'm not sure they even appear in, you know, trackside signs. So the first we know about it is when we get the speeding error show up. So reduction to 50, so this must be the approach to Reading now. Yeah, there we are. It looks like we're on quite a small platform for Reading. Yeah, Reading is a really major station, and that platform looks very, very short. So we're fine for the speed limit as we approach it. Well, I can't imagine the branch that we will be going on to has a 125 mph limit, so it may be that yeah, we need to go on a little bit further before it takes us. Actually, yeah, I think the branch is actually at Didcot, and we turned off just before we would enter Didcot station. So in fact, round here we're still okay as far as the speed limits. It's around Didcot that it all goes tits up and speed limit changes here, there and everywhere without any sort of notice about them. It doesn't alter the fact that we are on a very small, very short platform for Reading here. And this is a really major interchange on this entire network, so we'll certainly get as much of the train on here as we can, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be anything like enough. So we'll go through the signal. I mean, at least the signal was green anyway, so we're all right. There we go. So this is Reading. Let's see what the rear of the train is like. Yeah, see, we were able to get the whole thing on there. No problem. What was I worrying about? So yeah, Reading. Been here a few times. There's nothing particularly memorable about the place. It never struck me as being awful, but yeah, not overly remarkable either. Right, doors are shut. Let's not take us off that. Away we go. I forgot to do that, but then I didn't get a signal from the guard either, so we're now in a 50 zone, but we do know that a 125 zone is fast coming up. Right there. It's like half a mile away. So we carry on. All of these lines here are heading off to the left, taking us to the South-Western Expressways. So at the moment, if I was going to be doing a run to so Bristol, Cardiff, anywhere in the southwest, I would have to go that way. But yeah, soon I'll be able to stay on the Great Western Mainline. Okay, so you now increase up to 125, so we pass the junction where the South-Western Expressways would rejoin here. I think that route as well is not only for the South-Western Expressways, I think it's what takes you to the Wessex Mainline. You're heading towards somewhere like Salisbury and that. I mean, okay, you've got a fair way to go yet, but it would take you down that way. So Tilehurst Station is next. But we have no more stops until we reach Oxford. It would be nice actually if we could have stopped at Didcot, or at least be able to do freight runs that would stop at Didcot power station, but yeah, the quick drive doesn't even give us that as an option. So yeah, here is Tilehurst Station. Now I'll probably regret saying this, but so far it's been a completely clean run. But it's not going to stay that way. Like I say, the route display and trackside signs just don't tell us a thing as we make our way to the branch line for Oxford. So bottom line is, yeah, the chances of me actually finishing this with a clean run, I would say, are absolute zero. Not a clue what station that is. We're going past it far too quickly for me to be able to see. So, Goring is next. Goring and is it Streatley or Streetley? I think it's Streatley. No, I know Goring. I don't know the Streatley area, but yeah, Goring I know particularly because of the boating holidays on the River Thames that I've taken over the years. Goring Lock, who was the scene of one particularly infamous incident. It was my nan who was actually driving the boat at the time, and yeah, we were entering Goring Lock. I don't quite know what happened, but it slammed into the wall. Something fierce. So there we go, Goring Station. But yeah, those boating holidays, I mean, we did 4 of them. They were all pretty good. Apart from maybe the last one. The last one wasn't that great. But we never actually made it as far as Oxford. We got pretty close on one occasion. We got as far as Abingdon. I can't remember if there is... I know there is an Abingdon station, but I don't know if it's on this route. Chelsea station is next, and we do have our trackside view. I have a feeling that's going to be the only trackside view we'll get. Yeah, this one's not particularly helpful, is it? Oh, we got a second. As we are approaching Chelsea station, we are back up to 110 mph. The size of the station and the town around it would suggest that Chelsea is a fair sized place, but yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with it. So we have a double yellow. Does that mean that we are soon going to have points that we're going over? I mean, they should be flashing if that's what it was warning us about. We do have a speed reduction coming up. The fact that they were double yellow, we'll coast for a bit, see what the next signal is. That looks like a single yellow to me, so let's start slowing down because the next signal is fairly close by. Okay, it's very close by. I don't think we're... Oh, it's just turned to green, which is a good job. So we have the 70 mph section which we are entering as we go over the points. So this is where we are coming off the Great Western Mainline. Now I'm keeping a lookout for trackside signs. So there's nothing on the route display until this 90. So yeah, again it's showing us that we are going to be going over points again. So that, I think you'll find, is Didcot station right dead ahead. But yeah, we are coming off here. I certainly don't think we'll be able to get our speed up to 3 figures on this part of the run. So yeah, we are now on the branch line that would take us up to Bicester, but we are not going quite that far. Now go up to 90, so let's throttle up. Appleford is the next station. Yeah, we have quite a few sort of small, they're not really commuter stations as such around here. I think they're more sort of rural stations, because we're sort of in the Oxfordshire and Gloucestershire sort of area, so there's a lot of farmland around here. So here is Appleford station. Yeah, couple of platforms. There isn't a single building as far as I could see on that actual station. So here is Cullen Station. Surprised that the line speed limit is as high as 90. I'm certainly not complaining, but yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that high. Radley station is next. Not familiar with any of these stations. So there is Radley. Again, no sign of any actual station buildings anywhere there. Now, does that mean that, yeah, we are going to have to slow to 25? See, there's nothing on the HUD, but, well, yeah, on the route display on the HUD, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Let's say this route, the HUD is not very reliable. Okay, well, we're back to green again. Suggests everything's okay. Again, it's showing us double yellow. Okay, so we're not turning off. Those signals are not for us. There's an awful lot of sidings that we are passing there. Actually, I'm not sure they're all sidings actually. Let's get a bit of speed up again. I think we slowed down a little bit too much. I don't want to speed up too fast though. I mean, high 30s I think will do, especially as, yeah, this is yellow. So now we do need to be ready to stop. This signal here could well be red. In fact, yeah, we have to assume it is. Right. So we're at 23, so if there are any points that we have to go over, they will be, yeah, we will be at the right sort of speed. Now those signals, well, they're in the wrong position for us really. Well, this one certainly is. That one though. Okay, that one is ours. And it's just turned to green. It looks like it's saying it is going to be moving us over points. In which case, let's get us down to 25 again. Just to make sure. So, is it these points here that it's moving us on? Yeah. So it was a good job I was paying attention there, because yeah, there was nothing on the HUD there, but I did at least remember the previous trackside signs telling us that yeah, any of the points had to be taken at 25. And here we are. So that was Paddington, London Paddington to Oxford in the class 802/1, and I think that was a clear run. It's a great run. I do really like doing this this route. Great Western Mainline is a great one to drive, and the 802 is always a great loco to drive. So you put the two together, and yeah, you can't go wrong. And there you go, not one error. First clean run in a long time, but at least I finally managed to do it. So there we go. Yeah, great run that. Good request. Yeah, good one there from MikkDC. So that brings this video to an end, and we will see you at the next one.